Hello, beautiful souls. It's me, Christine, Shamama Hunting Owl, and I am here with a spiritual message for today, as well as an update about what's going on. And and I've got some good stuff to share with you guys. Messages, super important messages. So, the first part of the messages, and what I really want you guys, let me thank you guys for being here, of course, always. And liking, subscribing, sharing, supporting me over the last while that shit's been happening in my world. There have been I have received so many loving, beautiful, supportive messages from you guys, and it's from people I haven't heard from in years and years, and I just thank you guys. I just really truly appreciate all the love and the support that you've shown me through, and all the light that you have shined on me through this time that I've been going through. So thank you guys so much. Thank you. All right, so the first part of the message that I just want to share is to remind you that God, and I wrote this all down this morning, you guys, God is always watching over us. Okay? And is always working to move love through the hearts of others. Okay? And so I'm going to now share how this message pertains and what has been happening since the last video I did about reaching out for help and needing some assistance. So I did, in fact, as I shared with you guys, reached out to someone who I hadn't been in contact with for a while and asked for help with my situation. After a few messages back and forth and realizing that this person was kind of like, yeah, I can help. No, I can't help. Yes, I can help. And never really committed to anything. I just said, whatever, God's will be done. I never heard back from them, and that's okay. Let me just say that is perfectly okay. And in those moments, I was freaking out, and all I could do was fucking pray. But I knew that God wasn't going to let me and mom and everything else that's contingent upon this whole situation. I knew, had to have faith. As horrible as I felt, how desperate I felt like a fucking worthless beggar after not hearing back from this person. I was not angry at that person. I was not upset with that person. I was upset with myself, because I felt, again, just so much humiliation. And I said, you know what? Fuck that. You got to let that go. You got to stop beating yourself up. And what started to come up for me during that time that I was processing all of these feelings of this person that I had asked for help, not helping me, okay? And not even just saying, look, no, I'm not going to do it. I can't do it. I wish you well. None of that. Just ghost, quiet ghost, nothing, right? And I started remembering, and this is where the craziness of our inner child wounds come up. I started going back to a story from my childhood, an experience from my childhood, in which I was about 5-6 years old, somewhere around there. And my mom had, I don't even know what I did wrong. Let's start with that. I got into trouble. I don't have any idea at this point of my life what the hell it was I did wrong. But my mom had packed my bags and put me in the car and was threatening, and took me to an orphanage, actually drove me to an orphanage and said she was giving me up and I was going to have to go live at the orphanage and find new parents and blah, blah, blah. And I'm not kidding. Packed my suitcase, put my suitcase and me in the car, kicking, screaming, crying, dragged me out of the car to the place with my bags to the door, and I was a little kid. the trauma of this in relation to this person not helping me all came up. And in that moment, I felt two extremely different energies. I felt that little girl who was just begging and crying to understand what she had done wrong to deserve such harsh, cruel treatment from someone, my mom in that situation, but bigger than that, from someone who claims to be spiritual, claims to love God, claims to be forgiving. It was like this whole realization. And so this little girl that I was becoming in that moment was on her hands and knees, just crying, because she didn't know what she had done to deserve this kind of punishment. To have her whole life just stripped away. And that's what I was feeling. That's how I was feeling. Like, I have been faithful. I have done everything, I believe, to follow my heart and my intuition. And I didn't understand why I was being put in this position. Ironically, with my mom again, right? But now both of us facing having nowhere to go. Okay. So that was one extreme that I was internally dealing with, feeling all of these feelings coming up and taking care of this child within me. The other extreme that I was feeling was that of a neglected, abandoned, wounded animal. A dog that was trapped in the corner, hurt, cold, hungry, tired. And the dog wanted to be helped, but it was so scared to let anybody come close to it that it was like, like growling and snarling. And so anytime a person would come close to it, it would react and respond out of fear, right? And out of lack of trust. And all I kept feeling for myself, in myself, at that time was I was trapped in this corner. And all I wanted was for that one person who was brave enough to realize that this dog didn't want to hurt them, but the dog was just scared and really needed help. And that this one person would be brave enough to throw a fucking blanket over my head or whatever and just scoop me up and not be afraid to help me. But yet realizing how I can push people away in the moments where I need people the most, out of fear of being hurt again. And how, for a moment, what me being vulnerable and messaging the person that I had messaged was me feeling trapped in that corner and them not responding after having a little bit of dialogue and just ghosting and saying nothing else. Like, it put me in that mindset. And all I needed to feel and do was to know that I was safe. And I just prayed. And I just prayed. And I just prayed. And I just trusted. And I believed. And I forgave. Because I understood that the person who didn't help me, okay, that I reached out to, that was not about that person. It was all about me. It was about me taking another step deeper into knowing and trusting that God's will is bigger and better than my will. And in that person, in that experience, I was able to recognize these parts of myself that I still needed to heal and needed to work on. So I am grateful for the entire experience. There is no ill will, no anger, for nothing against this other person. Like, there's love, there's understanding, there is what it is. It's all good. In the same time, in these moments of processing this wounded fucking animal that I was, as well as this poor, like, confused child, I was contemplating, feeling into my mind and my heart, reaching out to one other person. And that would have been my beloved, who I haven't, as you guys know, talked to in 2.5 years. And as much as I thought about it and sat with it, my heart couldn't bring myself to it. And yes, there was fear and all of these things, and but at that point I kind of was like rationalizing to myself, like, what do I have to lose? But I couldn't, I was working through the fear. I kept processing, like, what do I have to lose? What's the difference? If you don't ask, nothing, you can't get, blah, 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 blah. And I could feel myself trying to talk myself into doing this, right? And the more I tried to talk myself into doing it, the more I knew in my heart it wasn't the right thing for me to do. And in that moment, I fucking kid you not, guys, my phone went off and I got a message from someone. It was not, I'm going to make this very clear, it was not my beloved, okay? And it said, call me. So I did. And this person, who I never asked for money, I knew that there was no way they were going to be able to help me because, first of all, they don't live in this country, and the exchange rate for the amount of money that I needed was going to be ridiculously huge for this person to lend me, gift me, help me with in this time. So I never even considered asking this person for money. And even when this person and I had spoken in the past and days up till any of this happening, it was made very clear that this person could not and wouldn't help me, like, because of the exchange rate and all of this stuff. So and I was totally fine with that. Like, I love this person. This person is a friend, someone I consider a sister, who has been in this tribe for, since the beginning. And like I said, did not, told her every day, like, please, I don't want this from you. I know, please don't do this. But here she was showing up for me, and she wired the money. and made it possible for me to receive this enormous fucking blessing. And I am so fucking thankful and grateful. A lot of lessons in that is to trust your heart. Don't let your head get ahead of you and try to trick you into doing something out of fear that doesn't feel right in your heart. That was the first lesson in that. The second lesson was be open to blessings from unexpected sources. And that is part of what the message was to start with, is God is always watching over us. He is always moving with love through the hearts of others. And God moved through the heart of this dear sister. And she did something for me that was unimaginable and so beautiful. The long and the short of that story is, be grateful, be thankful, and trust, and do your fucking work. Dig through those parts of yourselves that are hurt and wounded and scared, and do the healing to understand yourself so much better. Okay, so the rest of the messages, and I have a bunch more of this to share, is that God recognizes, and this is what you need to understand, God is going to move love through the hearts of others. God recognizes your faithfulness, your gratitude, and your commitment to serve, regardless of how hard things have been for you, for me, for us. Continue to show up and be committed to share your truth, to share your words, and always remain compassionate, loving, and empathetic to others, no matter what. No matter what. Always lead with love. Could I have gotten angry and upset that person didn't even get back to me and say, look, I'm not going to do this, forget it? Yeah, I could have. But he didn't. I panicked. I freaked out. But I didn't get angry. I get it. It was a big fucking ask. It was a huge fucking ask. And I was throwing, whatever I could out there. Hoping and praying. But that wasn't hoping and praying. That was me trying to take control of the situation and not trusting for a moment. But it was a beautiful gift in learning more about myself and healing the wound of this inner child who didn't understand why she was being punished. I know I'm not being punished. Like, the rational part of me knows that nothing about this journey, nothing about it is punishment. Everything that is happening is for our greatest good ultimately. Even when it's unclear, even when it's painful, even when it's scary, even it looks like the fucking everything is falling apart around you. Come back to that space of knowing. Come back to the space of trusting in God, surrendering, having faith in the people who do love you, who are around you to support you. This is the beauty of the journey. It comes back to you. Keep giving. Now, there's one more thing I want to share with you guys. And this is, like, when I kid you not, you can't make this shit up. So you guys, I've told you a million times, I get these prophetic words, right, in my email. This morning's January 4th's message is, and how beautiful does this tie into everything I have just shared with you guys that is going on in my world. The Father says today, I am your protector. I am your shield. I am with you, fighting your battles, I have sent my angels to minister to you and guide you. So be aware of their presence and their work in your life. When others fail you, when those who you expect to be there for you are not, do not be afraid. I am your comforter, your strength. I will sustain you even when others abandon you. Do not hold onto anger toward those who have hurt or disappointed you. Their choices are their own. Do not expect them to change. Give those burdens to me. I will heal your wounds and restore your spirit. I will carry you through this difficult time. Why people may disappoint you, even with good intentions, I will not. I will always be faithful. I will fight for you, defend you, protect you, and provide everything you need. From this moment on, you will have all that you require. You will not be denied. Be confident and take courage, for your season of blessing has come. Fucking A, right? Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is. If that is not the epitome, that is the fucking Cliff Notes version right there, guys, of everything that I have experienced in the last few days. And there is so much more to this story that I want to share. And I don't want to do it today with you guys, but I have a story that I'm going to share of a little Hanukkah miracle that I did receive also in the month of December. And yeah, but we'll save that for another time, because it's another testament to the works and the abilities of God and the universe and the greatness of all that is. Other than that, you guys, 2222 on the counter. I hope that this message serves you. I wish for you to find and explore deeper within yourself the hurts, the pains, the wounds, the fears, and continue to share and have faith in your process and in your journey. And I'm going to be honest, you guys, my situation is far from resolved. Let me make that very, very clear. I have been given a huge reprieve in this moment. I got to make it through the rest of the month. I am, looking for a full-time job. You are going to see as the month proceeds and we get to the end of the month, I'm not going to be in this space anymore that you see me in. Things are going to be changing. The living environment is going to be switched around here. And I will share all of this as it comes again closer to the time. But there are going to be a lot of changes happening, and so I ask you all to please just hold space for me. If you can, send love, prayers, and keep me in your good thoughts. And as I always with you all, I am sending you all so much love and light. Gratitude and blessings, always, 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 beautiful souls. I love you all so fucking much, and we will talk again soon. Okay, guys. Mwah! I love you, I love you, I love you, and thank you for being here. Have a beautiful day. Bye, guys.